And she said that she's been writing this book for 10 years. Hello, did you miss me? Today I'm doing the mid-year book freakout tag. So this is a very popular tag in BookTube in which you just look back, see all of the books that you've read, see what are your favorites, what are your favorite characters, what are your favorite authors. And I love this tag and I couldn't stay without doing it. I'm sure everyone thinks the same way, but I can't believe that we're already mid-year. Oh my Gucci, that year is flying by. The first question is, what is the best book you've read so far? And this shouldn't surprise anyone, but I'm going to allow a time for you to write in the comments box below, what do you think is my favorite book? And my favorite book is The Nightingale, my favorite book so far. And I could say 1,000 times what this book is about, but I don't think it serves it justice because there's no way for me to describe the way this book makes you feel, the way sister love is portrayed, love to your family is portrayed, love to your country, just the way that these women grow. Oh my god, it is so hard feeling, but again, this book is about two sisters during World War II and they are very much different from one another. One is like a rebel, the other one is sort of a scaredy cat. And they each take the war in a very different way and they make a difference even though they are so different, but they change the war each in their own way. The next question is best sequel you've read so far. We all know that second parts in books normally are not the most popular ones, but so far the ones that I've read have been better than the first part and that surprises me. But the one that I have enjoyed the most is P.S. I Still Love You. This is the second part of To All the Boys I've Loved Before, and I'm going to explain the first part instead of the second part because it might have spoilers. So in the first part we follow Lara Jean, a girl that's shy and she's a romantic, but she's scared of having real love in her life. And she writes letters to all the boys she's ever loved to like kind of to say goodbye to them because she cannot take the step to make love enter her life. And one day these letters get sent out and things start getting crazy. And I enjoyed that second part so much because I thought it had more rhythm. I loved the game that they used to play when they were in elementary school. I think that's when they used to play it. And I just wanted to see if Lara Jean was going to beat the mean girl.
Why are you so obsessed with me?
The next question is new release you haven't read yet but you want to. And I don't really follow releases. The only one that I've seen that I'm sure came out this year and I haven't read is My Dark Vanessa. I've seen several booktubers that I really trust their opinions love this book, and this book is about a romance between a teacher and his student, but it doesn't romanticize it. I think it is very clear that this is not good, and I think the book does a very good job at portraying that this is not a good relationship and that this shouldn't be happening, and that is something that strikes my attention and I want to see what this is about. The next question is most anticipated release for the second half of the year. The first one that comes to mind is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by B.E. Schwab, and I really admire this author because she writes 1 or 2 books a year and they are all chef's kiss. And she said that she's been writing this book for 10 years. So imagine if the books that she already wrote that took less time are magnificent. I cannot wait to see how this book turns out. And the premise is top-notch. This is basically a French girl that is running away from an arranged marriage. She is desperate to the point where she makes a deal with the devil that she will live forever, but every single person that she meets is going to forget about her. And yeah, B. Schraff said this is the closest she's going to be to writing a romance, and this romance is between a French girl that's been living for 300 years and the devil. And one day a person in a bookshop, I believe it's a boy, sees Adele LaRue and he remembers her. I believe this happens because she tried to steal a book from this store and he remembered her because she was very confident, like, this guy is not going to remember that I tried or I stole a book yesterday, and he did. And this is where the story starts. And I also have to talk about that Twilight book that is coming out 10 years later. I remember, I didn't know how, but I had the filtered chapters in my phone when they just got filtered, and I said like, I'm just going to wait until this gets released.
One eternity later.
And I forgot about it, and here we are 10 years later. We're getting that book, and of course I'm going to read it and to tell you guys if it's worth the time. The next question is biggest disappointment. I have two for this one, and I'm very sad to say that they are both classics. The first one is The Turn of the Screw. I was expecting a lot from this book, especially because it has inspired so many other books, so many movies, and I was really excited, but it just didn't deliver what I was expecting. We follow this governess and she takes care of two little children, a boy and a girl, and basically you're trying to figure out if she's going mad, if the kids are haunted, if the house is haunted, and that's part of the journey, and I'm not going to say anymore because it is so short and I don't want to spoil you. The next one is the one that truly hurts me the most, especially because it's a Latin classic, and this is Hopscotch. It is an anti-novel by Julio Cortázar, and I really wanted to like this one. I knew that it really didn't have a plot, I knew that it didn't make any sense, but at least I was expecting a lot of poetic prose, a lot of phrases that will be very memorable, and it had some, but it wasn't worth my time really. I could have just Googled hopscotch quotes and that would be it. Not a lot of people agree with me, but I think this book was sexist, and that's all I'm going to say. The next question is biggest surprise so far, and this is going to be The Silent Patient, and it really surprised me because I saw a lot of booktubers that read a lot of mystery think that this didn't bring anything new to the table and that it was predictable, and I considered that I read a lot of mystery and I thought the same thing was going to happen to me. Thankfully I didn't listen, and so far this is the best mystery book I read this year. And another surprise was Becoming by Michelle Obama. I knew this was going to be a very important book and I had a lot of expectations for it, but I couldn't believe when Michelle Obama topped those expectations, and that was a very nice surprise. The next question is favorite new author, and I have several. I really enjoy Roxane Gay's writing style for nonfiction with Bad Feminist, Chimamanda also for nonfiction with We Should All Be Feminists. Do we see a trend here? I love true stories by Taylor Jenkins Reid, which are Daisy Jones and the Six and The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. And of course I'm going to read everything that she writes, but the one that I truly enjoyed is going to come as a shock to us all, which is Kristen Hanna. The next question is newest fictional crush, and I don't really get crushes, but if I had to choose one, it would be Billy from Daisy Jones and the Six. And he wasn't a perfect guy, he did a lot of things that I wouldn't want anyone to do to me, but the other guys in other romances that I read were non-memorable. That's why I said this one. And even though he made a lot of mistakes, I believe he truly got up and made up for them. Well, with his significant other, I don't know if I could forgive him. And basically anyone who isn't Noah Shaw from the Mara Dyer series. He is the typical YA protagonist from 10 years ago. Cocky, bad boy, tall, lanky, dark hair. I'm over that. The next question is newest favorite character. And I'm going to shock you with two answers. The first one is the most shocking, with Bien from The Nightingale. I really loved how much she grew from being a scaredy cat that just wanted to follow the rules to that type of woman that she became, all of the things she did to help her community and to help her country. And the other character is not really a character because she exists in real life, and this is Michelle Obama. She teaches so many lessons in her book. There's been times where I think I've needed some advice and there wasn't anyone around, and I just remember some of the advice that she gave in her book. The next question is book that made you cry, and I'm going to shock you, which is The Nightingale. This is no longer a mid-year book freakout tag. This is like a Nightingale review. But yeah, I really cried with that book, and I love to cry with books and movies. And I cried with joy, I cried with laughter, I cried with anger. This book made me feel everything. The next question is the book that made you the happiest. And this is going to be P.S. I Still Love You, and I was seeing my video from last year. You can go and see it if you want to make fun of me. I'll link it in the description box. And my answer from last year was P.S. I Love You. And now my answer this year is P.S. I Still Love You. Do we see a trend here? With romance. The next question is favorite video you've made so far, and I didn't have to think about this one at all. I really loved my outfits inspired by book covers video. It took me a lot of time to plan it. It took me a lot of time to film it and to edit it, and I just had a vision of what this video was going to be, and I'm very proud to say that I surpassed that. It's very acceptable to say that you're proud of something.
It's beautiful.
But yeah, I'm going to link that video below because I want you to see it. I'm really proud about it, and I love everything about that video. The next question is what books do you need to read by the end of the year? And whatever I say, take it with a grain of salt, because last year I answered 3 books. One I read like a month ago, one I just finished reading, and one I haven't read at all, and it's not even in my TBR anymore, or not even like in the first 10 books. I have yet to read 2 books from the My Sister Picks My Next Reads challenge, and the one that I'm expecting the most, but not really, is All the Light That We Cannot See, because this is so much alike The Nightingale. I'm kind of scared that my favorite book will be dethroned, and most of all because they are both from World War II and they both make you cry. And I've heard that this is The Nightingale but on crack, but I'm excited and a little bit scared at the same time. The next question is most beautiful book you've received or bought this year, and I've only bought 2 books. Guess what one of those books is? The Nightingale. And the other book, I'm very lucky to say that is also a very pretty book. And it is Where the Crowded Sing. And another book that I don't own but I think is also very pretty is We Should All Be Feminists. That is all for today. The secret phrase today is The Nightingale. Write that in the comment section below so that I know that you stuck until the end, and that will make me very happy. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and to click that notification bell. Thank you for coming to talk with me, and I'll see you in the next video.